Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I'm going to be taking a look at some upcoming Sharpedo decks from a set Phantasmal Flames. So one of the new cards, well, Mega Sharpedo EX itself has 330 HP, which to be fair isn't a lot really for a Mega Evolution, like you'd kind of want it to be a bit more than that. But at the very least, it is a very fast shark, so it does have free retreat, which is fantastic. No resistance, sadly, which is a bit rough, and a weak to grass, which is like whatever. Like, I don't think Venusaur is going to be storming any regional championships anytime soon, but Ogapon might, I guess, at the very least. So, yeah, like weakness to Ogapon, a little bit rough, but like Venusaur and like other grass megas, I don't think are going to do too much, at least not right now. But yeah, the two attacks Mega Sharpedo has are Greedy Fangs and Hungry Jaw. Greedy Fangs for a single Dark Energy is really nice. I really like low attack cost utility ones like this, where it's just 70 damage, draw two cards. Like Seeking, I think, from like Prismatic Evolutions had like a similar attack. But it's just really convenient because it means you can just knock out a lot of these evolving basics that can be found with Poffin. And if you want to, you could use like Vitality Band as well to knock out like 8 HP basics. But either way, it's just a nice way of taking like a cheeky prize card basically in the first few turns. So very nice. Also just an extra draw too, which is lovely. And then Hungry Draw, which is like the main appeal of Mega Sharpedo, does 120 damage for 2 Dark Energy. And if this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, this attack does 150 more. So 270 damage if Mega Sharpedo was already damaged. Now, if we didn't have Toxtricity, I would say this card would be pretty bad because like you want to have ways of damaging Mega Sharpedo that don't rely on your opponent attacking into you, because you don't want to have to do 120 and then wait for your opponent to attack Sharpedo to actually get the full 270. That would be really bad. You just want to be able to do 270 whenever you need it to. But thankfully, we have Toxtricity. So Toxtricity, now I'm slurring a lot of words today. Toxtricity allows you to search your deck for basic Dark Energy and attach it to one of your bench Dark Pokemon. And if you do, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Now, unfortunately, this does mean that like you will have to retreat your active Pokemon and then like attack with a Sharpedo if you're accelerating your energy to a benched Sharpedo, if that makes sense. But at the same time, Mega Sharpedos do have free retreat. So if your active Pokemon has free retreat, or your active Mega Sharpedo has free retreat, what you can do, which is really convenient for this deck, is you could say turn 1, you go first, you attach energy to a Carvanha, you bench a Toxel and another Carvanha, you pass, then turn 2, you can evolve into Toxtricity, and then depending on whether you want to, attack with Greedy Fangs or use Hungry Jaw, you could then attach to a benched Carvanha, evolve into Toxtricity, and then use Bad Upper, evolve your active Carvanha into Mega Sharpedo, and then just attack with a benched Mega Sharpedo for 270, turn 2, which I think would be quite easy to do, actually. So, yeah, quite a very efficient setup, I would say. Also, Toxtricity does also have a retreat cost of 2, so you can use Air Balloon as well, which is great. Also got Seviper over here, which has the ability Excited Power. If you have any Mega Dark Pokemon in play, so very specific, then this Pokemon's attacks do 120 more damage. So it's just a really nice single prize attacker that can just throw out 240, which is great. And there will be times where like you don't have to commit another energy to Mega Sharpedo. You can just commit one to a bench Seviper. And then out of nowhere sometimes, like if you have a bench state that's full of Toxtricities, but I think realistically you only need like 1 or 2 on the board anyway, then you can just throw down a Seviper and then use Jet Black Fang for 240, which is lovely. So yeah, definitely like Seviper. Also bear in mind things like Mochi as well when talking about Seviper. So you can actually reach like 280, which is cool. I've also got Mega Gengar here. I'm aware that Mega Gengar is not like a strictly new card, quotations mark, but if you've not been following like too much of the releases online, or like maybe you've not come across a Mega Gengar battle deck IRL, then that's what Mega Gengar does. But mainly it's just when one of your Dark Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an opponent's Pokemon EX, your opponent takes 1 less prize card, which basically just turns your Mega Sharpedos into 2 prize Pokemon, which is really scary. So yeah, Mega Gengar is a very cool partner for Sharpedo. But as for the first list here, it's just a very simple Toxtricity build. There's really not much going on this list, and that's why I wanted to feature it. It's just very straightforward and simple. So if you're finding Sharpedo appealing, then this is definitely for you. I do think this list is really cool. It's running Stormy Mountain, so you can shrink stage 2s down by 30. So things like, let's say just Charizard EX for convenience sake, would go down to 300 HP. And so 270 wouldn't necessarily get you the knockout, but because this deck is also playing things like Monkey Dory and Maximum Bell, you can actually reach 300, which is cool. So I do like this build a lot. It's very simple. I know it's Monkey Dory, and some people are very sick of Monkey Dory now, but I do think it's a very cool way of like just reaching bigger damage, especially with Sharpedo. So, and you could also like stack them up, right? You could have several Monkey Dory in play, and then you could like do 330 damage potentially across a turn, and then knock out another Mega or something. So cool. I think it's cool. Got a Tatsugiri in here. We've got a baby Pecharunt if you really want to. So you can just free retreat into a Pecharunt to do the poison, which is nice. I've also got a Shaman, which is cool, like just a bit of extra bench protection because Toxtricity might just get sniped by things like Wellspring Ogerpon. So having a Shaman here is very nice indeed. But yeah, a very straightforward list overall, I would say. Quite easy to put together. Next up is we have a slightly more complicated build. This one's swapping out Shaman for Psyduck. Also swapping out Maximum Belt for Hero's Cape, so just a bit of a HP boost to anything that you want. Also running Yveltal, which is kind of interesting. Also running Pecharunt EX. I do actually quite like Pecharunt EX, especially if you're going to play Mochi, because this deck is like, it's not playing a lot of tool cards, but it is playing Town Store. And because your Ace Spec is also a tool card, it kind of makes sense just to have Town Store in the deck anyway. So I do really like that Ace Spec choice, actually. I quite like it more than Maximum Belt. I think the Town Store package is actually worth it for Mega Sharpedo, but yeah, it's quite cool. And then Pecharunt just gives you free retreat, but also the poison, and then like the really cool late game attacker if you really need it. So pretty cool list overall. Not really my cup of tea, but you know, it does seem quite fun. Next up is we have a spicy Mega Gengar build. So a 3-2-2 line of Gengar, and then a 2-2 line of Sharpedo. So it's more of a like support piece, I guess, to Mega Gengar. But they do like complement each other. Like Mega Gengar can attack and then power up a Sharpedo if you need it to. Because this build is not actually playing. Oh wait, no, never mind. It is. I was going to say this is not playing Toxtricity, but yes, no, it is definitely playing Toxtricity. So because you're playing like a lot of support Pokemon, like Roaring Moon EX, for example, you're playing 3 Monkey Dory, you're playing Pheasantipity, you're playing Pecharunt, like there's not really an argument to play Poffin. So this list is playing the Precious Trolley as an A-Spec choice, which I think is quite wise in this situation. Again, I do like Town Store in here, but I do think the Precious Trolley does make sense for this build, just because you've got so many Pokemon that have higher HP. Like Puffin's still useful though, in case you just want to get some Toxels or Ghastlies down on like that first turn after you've used Arvin or something. But I think overall it's a very, very solid list. Looks like a lot of fun. Again, 3 Monkey Dory, a little bit boring, but still a very cool list though. Next up is we have a Gengar build. Not a Gengar build, sorry. Zoroark build, I should say. Very cool. Again, playing Roaring Moon EX. So like if you want the Frenzy Gouging, you can just unleash it whenever you want, which is cool. Get an automatic 1 and KO on Megas. I do think Roaring Moon will be really good as well in the future when we get to like actual competitive Megas as well. Like I know there's plenty of Megas that see a decent amount of play on the ladder right now, but I think once we get to like Mega Rayquaza and stuff, Mega Zygarde, Mega Greninja, Mega Delphox, Mega Chestnut, I think we will start to see like very competitive Megas. So having like Roaring Moon in the deck to just like effectively prize trade with your opponent, I think is really good. So if they're cheap right now and you can pick them up easily, I would definitely recommend picking one up if you're going to play Sharpedo. But yeah, it's a very fun card, very cool card. But yeah, I guess like the main spicy appeal about this deck, aside from the the more Peko that's been included, is the 2-2 line of Zoroark, which is cool. I do like Zoroark. You're never attacking with Zoroark. There's no benched ends Pokemon to copy from, unless you're copying an end Zorua. But yeah, you can only copy end Zorua. But after that, really, it's just for the trade, which is cool. Like, I think you could maybe throw in a Reshiram, like, especially if you didn't have one of the X Pokemon and you were building this for cheaps, and you were just, like, struggling to get all the pieces. You could just toss in, like, an Enza Reshiram, and, like, the list wouldn't really change at all. So, yeah, still a very cool list, though, I would say. But overall, thank you for watching. Sorry this video was a bit late. I was hoping to do more of these Pokemon, but I think I've left it a bit too late, sadly, before the new set releases. But yeah, hopefully you're able to build Mega Sharpedo IRL if you want to build it. And yeah, thank you for watching.